Welcome back to the channel Trading Simplified. I'm a trading enthusiast and love to simplify trading. To get started, just a reminder that I'm not a financial advisor and this video is for entertainment purposes only.
The market is starting to pull back. Now, what I think is they are just rotating the money from different sectors, and you're going to see some stocks getting sold off while they're putting it into other areas of the market just for diversification. It's the end of the year, people selling off, and you want to be the first to sell if you're going to be taking profits. So this is 1Q, this is the NASDAQ, this is a ETF that I always invest in long term, but sometimes when it really pulls back in a few days, I'll put a large amount of money and try to get like 50-cent swings on them. And then if I'm wrong, I just hold because it's a ETF that you can just hold forever. But I want to just bring up the last couple of days with this stock. And I do believe it is something good that you could potentially trade. Tomorrow, if it pulls back, I'm going to be buying. So this stock over the last month, went from like $58 all the way up to $63. Now you might say that's not really big gains, but this is an index fund that actually does fluctuate pretty well. And it's a good long-term play just in case you went way too heavy, like your entire account or something. You can just hold it for the long term because it's the NASDAQ. But I just wanted to point out that it did test, even today, it tested the 61 area and then popped back up. But it's still really high on the RSI. But if this stock sells off, if this index fund sells off tomorrow, I'm going to be looking to make a play on it. Because it's as high as 63. The NASDAQ's been going crazy. And the only reason I feel like it's up is because the three big dogs of Apple, Tesla, Amazon are all up. But when you start looking at stocks like DraftKings, they just completely keep selling off. They've sold off from $60 all the way down to $34. You look at companies like JetBlue, who cannot stay above $15. They just continue to sell off. You look at WWR, just like anything that's a growth stock, used to be at $10, worth $3 now. You look at PLTR, everybody's favorite, right? This stock is selling off. I am sitting on pretty much mostly cash. The only thing that I'm really holding is 1Q, that ETF that I showed you, and an S&P 500 index. I'm not holding any shares. I'm still not sure what's going on because when you look at DKNG, it's sold off, and on all the others, you just really want to be careful. The DWAC, that Trump stock that went up to 175, sold off. It's at $40 now. I've actually considered taking a long-term position in them because they're at $40. They used to be $175. It's just these stocks are all getting killed. They're getting murdered. They're down like 50%. The other one I want to bring up was Zoom. I mean, it's unbelievable. This stock used to be worth $550 and is now worth $200. So it's just something to think about. Sometimes when I can't predict what's going to happen in the market, which, I mean, who can predict it, to be honest? But when I just get confused and I'm not sure like what's happening, sometimes I'll go with the safer bet and I'll still go for my 25 to 50 cent to $1 spreads, but I'll put it in something that I trust will be around long term, like an index fund. And I'll just buy it on the dip and set the sell and just not look until it sells. So like if I bought, let's say, 2,000 shares of, let's say, 1Q at $60, I might just set the sell for $6.50, and that's a nice $1,000 gain whenever it comes. Now, is that like a great way to trade? Probably not. But in times where I feel like if I went heavy in DraftKings or anything, it seems like they just keep selling off. So in times where I'm kind of confused and not sure what's going to happen, that's what I'll do. It's a different trading strategy. It might not be like, a day trader's dream. But, sometimes I just feel like I'd rather play it safe and know that, my money's going to be safe at the end of the day. But, I mean, some of these stocks are just getting killed. And, I missed the boat on Lucid, and I truly do want to actually own them, but I just can't get myself to buy them at these levels to go long at $52. It's just, I missed the boat. It was in the $16 to $30 range, which was the time. But, I always try to look for nice swing plays. And AITX is coming back down. It used to be 30 cents. And we called it out around the 2 cents area, 0250. It might make a new low. Every stock is making new lows right now. Except unless you're an electric vehicle company, then you go to the moon. So it's just something to think about. I just wanted to bring it up. It's something I'm watching. And if the stock doesn't talk about electric vehicle, or it's Apple or Amazon, it seems like it's dying. And maybe I'm wrong, but definitely leave a comment in the section below. But I used to trade Wish all the time, and now I won't even touch them right now because I used to trade them at $6, and they're at $4, and I'm still afraid to trade them because it just seems like heavy selling pressure. So, I'm trying to think of another stock that. But right now, I'm sitting all cash or all in index funds right now because I'm just not sure what's happening. This might just be a sell-off, and I do believe DK&G. I was talking about buying it at $39, and now I look at it and I was like, how wrong was I? And I'm like, is this the bottom now? So I don't know where the bottom is. Nobody does. And now the news is trying to say that they're playing off of their valuation. If they're actually growth stocks getting killed, and it's only if they can prove that they're making money. But I don't know. I'm looking at DK&G, and I am really struggling to not have shares of them at this price because they used to be worth $74. But then I look at companies like Zoom that were $500, and now they're down at $200. I don't want to get stuck holding the bag if it's going to drop another 50%. But if you look at DK&G, it's hitting that support line and it's hanging there. But when I look at the overall chart, I don't see any indicators that it's going to turn around yet. So if you see a support level that you think is happening, I think the next support level is going to be around $30. So when you look at the overall RSI, it's 30. Well, that's a 5-year chart. That's not really a good estimate. But in a 6-month chart, it's 24. But it just seems as if they just keep selling off. So I'm not sure what the best move is now, considering we keep making these lows. And you always got to keep in mind, these are usually the best times to buy, is when a stock is just completely getting killed. One of the stocks that I like to trade is Baba. And it is dying. It is down to one. This isn't even showing an accurate trade here. Hold on. It's down to 133 now. It's just making new lows. So, and they're always pumping it up at Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, who owns it. But, he was completely off. He bought this in the 200s, and then he bought it at 140. It's still selling off. It's 133. If you're going to hold it for 30 years, maybe. But, I want to make money quick. I don't want to be holding for so long unless it's an index fund. So I just can't tell where the bottoms are because everything just keeps selling off. So I feel like if we be patient, we wait a little bit longer, and we keep price targets that we feel comfortable holding at, we might make some good gains. Still think DraftKings is still in play for a good play. It's hard not to buy at $35 when it was $70. It's 50% off. But I don't want to be too early and go in too heavy, and then I'm down so much percentage. But the companies that are coming back are like Facebook. Facebook went down to 300 and pounced right back up to 350. Apple, is just doing really well too. It's at 160s. But any company that doesn't really have a balance sheet just dies after it gets pumped. SNDL went to $1, back down to 66 cents. So that's what I'm looking at, just brainstorming, trying to figure out what the next play is. JetBlue, we called out to buy at the $14 range. We rebought it again a couple of days ago, and I already sold it. I sold it 50 cents up, $14, $14.05 up to $14.50, and now I don't know where it's going to go from here, so I just got rid of it. But that was the plan, to try to make 50 cents on it. So we'll try to see what the next play is. If you have any ideas, keep me posted. But right now, I am not sure. Just going to try to keep looking for opportunities. But, when I am not comfortable buying, a good amount of money in one stock, where I don't have like a definitive stop loss or something, I'll just day trade ETFs like 1Q, because I know that I can just hold it forever. It doesn't matter. So something to think about. Let me know what your thoughts, comments are in the section below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.